All right, this is in case you missed the proportionality cheat sheet. We're going to start with what a ratio is. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities. Okay, please make sure that you pay attention and set them up correctly. The ratios could be part to part or part to whole. So this is a part to part. So 3 boys and 4 girls. This is part to whole, or whole to part, actually. The whole is 7 students total, okay? And then the part, girls, okay? So this is part to whole, part to part, okay? Because neither one of these numbers are the total amount of kids. 7 is the total amount of kids, okay? So you can set the ratios up in a couple of different ways. A rate is a ratio with 2 different units. For instance, on this one, you have dollars per pound. Those are your 2 different units in this rate. Here you have miles and hours, 2 different units. Here we have feet and seconds, okay? So $5.25 for 6 pounds of something. 250 miles in 4 hours. 49 feet in 5 seconds, okay? So a rate is a ratio with 2 different units. A unit rate is a ratio with a quantity of 1. Okay, and typically the 1 is denoted in the denominator. Like, how much are you going to pay per pound of something? How many miles are you going to travel per hour? How many feet are you going to travel per second? Okay. All right, let's go to the side and talk about proportion. Proportion is 2 equal ratios. Okay. What's a ratio? Well, remember, ratio is right next door. That's what a ratio is. Proportions can be used to find a missing quantity. They must be set up correctly, and be sure to use labels that will help you keep things straight. You're going to solve for the missing quantity. However you set up the first fraction in the proportion, you have to set up the second fraction the same way. So if this is miles and hours, then the missing here is miles because hours should be on bottom as well. Okay, reread the problem and make sure your answer answers the question. All right, go down to measurement conversions down here. Okay, a measurement conversion is converting units in one measurement system. Okay, so for instance, converting units in one measurement system. For instance, inches and yards are both measures of different distance, so you can go from inches to yards if you have the proper conversion factor. Kilograms to grams, those are both measures of mass. And if you know how many grams there are in a kilogram, again, you can do that conversion. You need to label the various units and use the measurement chart on your star chart if necessary to find the conversion that you need. And then set up and solve a proportion. So for instance, 36 inches is equivalent to 1 yard. So how many inches is in 5 yards? You would cross multiply. 1 times x is just x. 5 times 36 would give you your answer. 5 times 30 is 150. 5 times 6 is 30. So x equals 180 inches. Oops. 180 inches is equivalent to 5 yards. And last but not least, we have reminders about converting fractions to decimals, decimals to percents, percents to decimals, and percents to fractions. Okay, so for a fraction to a decimal, here's what you're going to do. You are going to divide the numerator by the denominator. The numerator is the top number in your fraction. The denominator is your bottom number in the fraction. Okay, so you are going to have numerator divided by denominator. Okay, that's how you set it up. Even if the numerator is a smaller number, you still put it inside. Okay. Decimal to a percent, you're going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. And then add percent sign. Okay, so for instance here, 0.125. Move the decimal 2 times to the right, and that is 12.5%. 0.27. Boom, boom. This is 27%. Okay. To go from a percent to a decimal, you are going to move the decimal 2 places to the left and take off the percent sign. Okay, so take off the percent sign, move the decimal to the left 2 times. Okay, if there's no decimal written, then it is to the right of the last digit. So I'm going to take off the percent sign, so get rid of it. Take my decimal and move it 2 times, and this is going to be 0.65. Over here, take off the percent sign, move the decimal twice, and that becomes 0.82. All right, and then last, percent to a fraction. Put the percent over a 100 and reduce it to simplest form. All right, so for instance here, 75%, the percent sign goes away, and then we're going to put 75 over 100. And then I know that 75 and 100 are both divisible by 25. 75 divided by 25 is 3, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. So you're just going to take the percent, put it over 100, and then reduce the fraction as much as you can.